I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to be making a wedding invitation. And here's an example of one that I have done with a cutout, a two-sided cardstock, and a piece of ribbon in the center. So this is exactly what we're going to make today. So let's get started. So in Design Space, even though I've got text on the screen, we're just going to replace that. We're going to do a new project. Just replace this one. So step one is to get all of your materials in place. And before we do that, I'm just going to upload our image. So let's click on Upload Image here. You want to look for the design. I already have mine preloaded, and it is called Floral Cut Wedding Invite. So look for that file. You want the SVG file for it, and we will simply upload it and then insert that image right on top of our design space. So step one here is simply uploading your template. Now you also have to put some materials together, and those materials are a double-sided cardstock, preferably with a nice design on the outside and something very plain on the inside. You're also going to need a strip of ribbon to tie the wedding invite together. Now this is already pre-prepared for you. The only difference is you see a yellow area in the center here. That yellow area just means the place where you want to put a gold or a silver line all the way around. You do not want to have this cut out. So let's go over here to the Layers panel, and you'll see this one says Basic Cut. Well, we are going to change that basic cut. So make sure you click on it here, right on the Layers panel, the Basic Cut. Come over here to Operation, and we're going to change that to a pen. Now we also want to change the color here. Now here is where we're going to make some decisions. Now I want to have a nice silver color that's going to go in there, and my Cricut pens that I have for the silver happen to be a Silver Gel 1.0. So I'm going to go for a gel pen, and that is a 1.0, so you see the 1 millimeter here. So I click here. Now I'm going to use silver, and that's all I have to select here. And there's lots of choices of the colors that you can have. So I'm going to have that line draw as silver right here. Now if I take a look over here in the Layers panel, you'll notice that it is already attached. If I click here, I've got the score line, the pen line, but the basic cut doesn't seem to be inside that attach. So what we need to do is start by clicking on our attach here and detach it so that that comes out as score, pen, and basic cut. Now I want you to select over everything and come down here and click on attach. So that makes sure that the basic cut is already attached in here with the pen and the score just by clicking on this button. Now that is all there is to do inside Design Space, so we want to save our project. So let's call it Wedding Invitation. And click on Save. Now before we go ahead and make it, you can have a decision here. I prefer to handwrite my messages inside the invites, but if you don't want to do that, you can actually add your text in the center here before we do the cut, but we won't be doing that today. So now that it is saved, let's go over to Make It. It's going to sort into the match. You'll only find one mat. And it'll tell you here it's going to score, then it's going to draw, and then it's going to cut. So that's all you need to know there. If yours doesn't say that, then better go back and check for your settings. We'll simply hit continue here. Now I am using my maker, but you could use your Air too. Other than the score lines, the Joy can use this project as well. You will just have to do the score lines on your own later. Now I have a number of favorites picked here. These are the ones with the stars. To get a favorite, you can browse all your materials, and I could go cardstock here just to search for what I'm looking for. And you'll see that there's for intricate cuts, there's cardstock for intricate cuts that says it twice. You could use something like that. And these are the list of the different kinds of cardstocks that you can use. Now, believe it or not, there is an adhesive backed cardstock that is not a Cricut product, because you can see there's no C here. There's a glitter cardstock. You could cut it from that. That might look very effective. And there's various other items here. Now, if you're going to use a glitter cardstock, this is a little more awkward because drawing the line on the glitter on the inside is a bit of an issue. And when you fold the card over, you're going to get the glitter on the inside. So you would have to put the glitter part down on the mat, which may leave residue on the mat. So that's something you can think about. There's also some beautiful holographic cardstock. I'm just going to click on my X here, and I'm going to go back to one I pre-selected called medium cardstock. And then I'm going to get an area that says load the silver pen in the clamp and use a single scoring wheel. Because I'm using the Maker, it will say scoring stylus if you are using your Air 2. And of course, there is nothing available when you're using the Joy. So just make sure you know that's where you're going with it. So let's go ahead and make this, and then I'll see you over at the demo table and we'll put the whole thing together. So we're going to put this wedding invitation together, and you can do several. I did one without the cut, so it had a double flap going on it and wrote a little message. And that one turned out really cute, but when you tie it up, it's a little different because it has other flaps to it. So that's an option that you can do. This is the one that we made from Cricut Design Space. And we have now the option to write in it. And I've got a Cricut gold pen to write my message. I also have a piece of ribbon that I'm going to use to tie it up. And I cut one that is 20 inches long so I can tie it up beautifully. And this ribbon, you can buy it anywhere. I got this one at the dollar store for $1.25. It's called metallic curling ribbon, so we'll be able to curl up the edges with it. It's going to be so much fun to put together. Okay, our first thing here is we want to put in the message, and I'm going to do this by hand. You could do it by having your Cricut type out things and you can glue them right in. But I like to do things by hand. You are invited. And then I can put the date, the time, and the location. Now I picked gold because that's a nice wedding color between silver and gold. That's going to work out beautifully. I'm not going to add any other information into there because that's all we need. So just remember, now you want to cut a piece of ribbon, and a narrow ribbon works the best. This is 20 inches long. And we're just going to put these together. So you can take this, and I'm just going to use my little tool from Cricut, and then I'm just going to what they call burnish the edges, or making those edges nice and firm. We want to bring in the ribbon into the circle part. So we just want it to go in where the circle is. Make sure it's flat. And I'm going to try and bring it in the same direction through the other circle. Try and get it so it doesn't twist too much. There we go. And now we're just going to pull it together. I'm just going to tie it in one simple knot in the center, and then we're going to do the bow. And just one knot in the center so that it will hold together, not too tight because you don't want to rip your paper. So all you need to do now is make a nice little bow. You can add more to your bow if you want. Here we go, make it nice and tight that way. Now I can use my scissors, and this is curling ribbon. So as you can see, I can make it curl really nicely. Just hold it by the edge and bring it up. We get that nice little curl going. And that is all there is to putting together this wedding invitation. It is so cute. And you can make several. You don't have a big crowd these days, but you can send these out, deliver them by hand, make your own envelope, or whatever happens to work for you. So I hope you had a lot of fun with this. Until next time, happy crafting.